Hello and welcome to VDRL, everybody. Back for another time commentating. Me in the commentary box, Mr. Quota, the owner of the league. Today we are going to be driving around Australia in Melbourne for Tier 2 Round 4 of VDRL of Season 3. Uh, Honestly, quite boring round before this. Nothing really happened. Boost ran away with the win. As here we can see the previous round results. Boost dominating by about 20 seconds. The win was so. Congrats to him. Good result. And let's see the current lineup. So this is the lineup. Out of these drivers, the people that will be driving today will be Barca Boy in Haas, Meshu in Ferrari, DMAG in McLaren, Just in Aston Martin, then Beeful in McLaren. McLaren, both drivers attending this race. Good for them. They are quite a bit of points behind Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship. Also, Ferrari, both drivers here, Boost and Meshu. Then for Red Bull, Sam SK13. For the sister Red Bull team in VCarb, Curly and Vasa. And for Williams and Sauber, Charlie and Justin. Now we have quite a few of reserves today, which will be Sir Osk Piastri driving for Aston Martin. Uh, Yablinski driving for Mercedes. Reese driving for Red Bull, Krangiel driving for Alpine, Infinity driving for Sauber, and Commanda, who will be driving for I don't know which team exactly yet, but we will find that out when we're in the qualifying session. So now we're gonna head to the interviews. I'm gonna tell the people to join the commentary box and we can do some interviews with them. Okay, we're gonna start the interviews now. In the commentary box here with us, Boost, Curly, and Vasa. We're gonna start off with Boost, the previous race winner. How are you feeling heading into this round 4 of VDRL? What do you think your pace will be compared to the others?
Hello. I don't feel so good because I don't like this track. Silverstone was much better. And when I was training with Meshu, I saw that he had much better quali pace, but the race pace we were not so close because we had to pit, and I won't go to details, so I don't have like any things to. I don't know how to say.
Okay, do you expect a safety car going into this race? Do you think everyone will keep it clean? We had a pretty clean race last race. Nothing really happened. So do you think you will get as lucky today or no?
I think there will be safety car because you see the barriers are much closer than on Silverstone, and it's like not very wide the track.
Okay, and last question for you. Where do you think would be the best overtaking opportunities in this track?
Turn one, the second DRS zone, and the like where the end of the second sector, the fast um two turns.
Okay, then. We'll have to see if you can overtake there. And thank you for the interview. We're gonna head on to Vasa. Vasa, do you hear me?
Yeah,
So, what are your thoughts going into this race? You finished last race in. You didn't even
I
finish
didn't.
last race. Oh, yeah, okay. You didn't do last
China was
race,
fast.
so you finished in China in P2. Okay. Okay, so you finished in P2. How do you feel going into this race? Do you think it will be a good result like in China or not the best track for you?
Not at all. Hopefully, luck and big points.
Do you think the tire degradation will be a big factor in this race or will you just go with the flow?
I mean, tires will be pretty bad in like 5 laps.
Okay. Well, thank you for the interview. Good luck and let's head on to Curly. Curly, can you hear me?
Of course I can.
Okay, so what are your thoughts going into this race? You did finish last race in P8, driving for the sister Red Bull team. So, what do you think? What's your pace here compared to the others?
So I really don't know if I have an advantage or not. I am really looking forward to this race and I'm feeling quite motivated the last week for a higher finish, especially a better quali pace. Hopefully it's not a wet quali and let's just see what will happen on the track. Vasa is here, so that's excellent. And
Yeah, of course, your teammate. And one last question for you before we'll be heading on to qualifying. Are you expecting any weather to head in?
The weather a key factor, especially if there will be a transition from dry to wet or wet to dry, but nevertheless, I don't feel any of these transitions happening, but just mostly a nice dry race.
Okay, well, we'll see about that. Maybe if you finish on the podium, or actually, everyone will have an interview
Hopefully.
after the race. Everyone. So if there will be any changes, we'll talk about it after the race. And good luck for the race. And
Thank
let's
you.
head on to qualifying.
Alright.
Let's go.
Okay, so one last thing, let's check out the calendar and the standings before the qualifying session and let's head underway. So the calendar, round 4, 19th of April, Melbourne, halfway through the season, just about halfway. And the standings, Meshu leading the pack with Ferrari in P1 and Ferrari leading the Constructors' Championship. DMAG close behind with McLaren in P2, so the top two drivers are Ferrari and McLaren, and the top two teams are Ferrari and McLaren. Then Vasa in P3 for Visa Cash App RB, his teammate down in P16 with 4 points. Only one race, if I'm not mistaken, for him, so he can grab some good points this race. We just did an interview with him. Yeah, not much more to talk about here in the standings, so let's go on to the qualifying session. Okay, as I can see, not every single person is yet in, if I'm not mistaken, so let's quickly check out the previous qualifying results. DMAG taking a commanding pole by 2/10 in the rain at the British Grand Prix last race. Good result for him. Boost taking P2. One to look out for this race. Of course, the previous race winner. Berlanas taking P3 for Alpine. Wave in the Ferrari reserving last race, taking P4. Good result to maybe prove up and get to a full-time seat in the near future. The two Mercedes in the P5 and 6, Dinand and Enzo. Fake Lando Norris in P7 for Alpine. Justin Maguire in P8 for Kick Sauber. Young Victim in McLaren, P9. He did do a very good race after qualifying P9 all the way up to P2. Congrats to him. Then all Haas 10 and 11, Dom and Barca Boy, Mr. Sauni in P12 for Williams. Then the Swedishman Mayan Red Bull in P13, Curly in P14 for the V-Carb team. Good race for him last time, going all the way up to P8 from P14, 6 positions gained. And every single person below him, XQRZ and Fetcher, did not set a lap. So let's see if qualifying is underway yet or no. As we can see, we're in the qualifying session and it is dry around here at Melbourne. Of course, there was a wet qualifying last time, so we'll have to see how this affects the drivers. Let's just see. Let's change a couple settings really quick before anyone is going out. As we can see, a Red Bull of Reese going out for his first lap at the moment. And a Visa Cash App RB of Curly and the McLaren going out. Everyone peeling out of the pits now. Yeah, so we see the two Visa Cash App RBs right next to each other, and not that far behind them is the two Red Bulls here, Reese and Sam SK13. Only 12 people attending at the moment, so 4 more people last race there was, so we'll have to see. Only 2 people need to DNF for you to get guaranteed points, so good opportunity for the people that are in this qualifying session that will be attending the race. Let's go on board with Curly, since he is the first man out on track, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he is. Using a bit of ERS on his outlap and hitting the wall. Don't know what that is about, but the 2 V-Carbs and the 2 Red Bulls right next to each other, the first 4 cars on track. Let's head on board with one of the Red Bulls. Yeah. So, let's head on board with the first person that's going to be starting his lap. Reese in the Red Bull as a reserve, starting his lap. Let's see, putting on the hot lap. His teammate right behind him going to be getting a good slipstream, maybe even an impeding, but it wouldn't be an impeding since they're both on laps. As Reese makes a big mistake and they're going to be going practically side by side into this next corner. Maybe not the best strategy to start the lap next to each other, but we'll see how this works out for them. What laps will they set as he goes for an overtake and Reese goes off track. So yeah, maybe not the best for the Red Bull team, but we'll have to see what they do in comparison to the sister team of V-Carb. Let's see, on board with Sam SK13 right now, the sprint race winner of Las Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, the sprint race winner and the P2 finisher in the main race of the Las Vegas Grand Prix round 1. Let's see what he can do, what he can put on the board. I'm expecting pole to be some mid to high 15s, maybe low 16s. So we'll have to see what he puts on. But as we know, there's about 3 to 4 tenths of track evolution. So we'll have to watch out on that. And let's see what lap will Sam set. Going across the line, it will be a 117.2. Good effort. Good first try. Let's see what everyone else will be setting now. Vasa with a 118.5 now. D-Mag, the previous, well, not the previous, but the China race winner, his first win ever in VDRL in round 3. What can he do? He is one of the favorites. 117.7, bit off the pace he is at the moment, but we'll have to see what he can do later in the session. Now, Meshu, can we see if he's on a lap? He is the favorite to win this race. What lap can he set down? Can he take pole position? Can he take provisional pole position? Right now, he's using all his ERS. Where does he go? What lap does he set? 116.6. Very good lap by Meshu. Pole at the moment by 8 or even 9 tenths. amazing lap. Okay, yeah, by 5/10. So really good lap by him. Let's see where everyone else goes on board. Let's go on board with the sister Red Bull team of Curly in P8. Hasn't set a lap yet. Okay, went a bit on his lap isn't validated. Well, unfortunate for him. Let's see if anyone's on a lap. Yes, Barca Boy on a lap, if I'm not mistaken, on the medium tires, maybe wanting to save a set of softs for later in the qualifying session and maybe in the race as he backs off. Okay, who is on a lap? Young Victim not on a lap, if I'm not mistaken, because he's using no VRS. So everyone just seems to be calmed down at the moment. No one's setting laps. Except Barca Boy. Maybe he's setting a lap. Oh no, it's invalidated. Okay. Boost. Also one of the favorites to win this race on an out lap right now. We'll head on board with him later as let's watch Mr. Sowney, who's gonna start his lap very soon. On the final corner, foot flat to the floor, using a bit of ERS. Down to 5th gear. Open the DRS wide. Down into turn 3. Now onto turn 4. Tricky section this is to nail, as he goes on the edge of track limits. Very good by him. Now the final corner before the big long straight. You need to have a good exit on this one, as we see a yellow flag in sector 1 that won't be affecting him since he is already on sector 2 on the medium tires, of course, so this won't be too relative. But let's see what he can put down. If it is a good lap, we'll know that he has got pace, and on the softs can do an even better lap. Now going to the fast corners, another caution in sector 1, using all his ERS. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down to 3rd gear. He goes low ERS. Now on the penultimate corner of the track, low ERS again. Final corner, foot flat to the floor. Where does he go? Up the gears. And he sets a 119.2, 2.5 seconds off the pace, and Curly behind him sets 3.7 seconds off the pace, struggling a bit, but we'll have to see what they can do later on in the session. Curly in P9, last of the people that have finished a lap. Of course, his teammates up in P6. So he has some strong competition. Let's see what he can do later in the session. Now, let's see. I think Boost is finishing his lap. Yes, where can Boost go? Up the gears, up into 6, up into 7, using all of his DRS, flat to the floor. Where did he go? 117.15 tenths behind his teammate Meshu. Ferrari 1-2, but Meshu seems to be leading the pack by a mile. 5 tenths, unheard of in F1 league racing. Very good by him so far. We'll have to see what all the other drivers can do later, as Meshu is on an out lap right now, just ahead of his teammate on the big long straight. Now, let's see, Young Victim in the Aston Martin. Is he on a lap? He is one of the last people to have not done a lap yet. Now, I'm pretty sure he's on a lap, so let's see what he can do. Crucial corner here. Set up your exit. He did finish P2 for McLaren last race as a reserve. Now he's reserving for Aston Martin due to be full in the McLaren now, replacing him since he is the main full-time driver. Now what can he do? Very clean to those corners, almost flat to the floor the whole way around. This game is much faster than the real F1 cars. That's why they can do that. So let's see what lap can he do on the penultimate corner. Now on the penultimate corner, flat to the floor. Now on the final corner, use all of your ERS, all of your DRS. Where can he go with this effort? 118.1 into P6, slots in right behind DMAG, who he finished next to in the last race, P2 and P3 for them. So 1.4 seconds off the pace at the moment. We'll have to see if he can improve that later on. Now, let's see everyone else that is on the lap. Let's watch the Barca boy and Reese in P12 and 13, the last people to not set a lap. What can they do? Barca boy just gonna start his lap now, and Reese also gonna start his lap soon, so we'll both see them finish their laps at a similar time. Let's see what Barca boy can do. Up the gears, max, full to the throttle. A person exiting the pits, let's hope he doesn't get impeded. Yeah, hops out the way, very nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down to third gear, up into fourth. Meshu sets a 116.3, 8 tenths clear of his teammate in P2. Amazing pace Meshu has at the moment. Very good, 8 tenths. Let's see what Barca boy can do. Caution in sector 1, yellow flag as Barca boy, I just noticed, has invalidated. So let's see what the Red Bull also invalidated. So maybe that's why they didn't set their first laps. They invalidated them potentially, but we'll have to see about that. Now Bassa has retired from the session. We don't know why. Can we see that? He's in the wall. He's bended. Well, sad for him, but let's watch his teammate, what he can do. He is last of the people who have set a lap, but let's see what he can do later. Now, okay. As Boost starting his lap right behind the Red Bull, maybe a bit of slipstream, maybe a bit of impeding. We'll have to see. Down the gears. Oh, and it's very bad for Boost. That will be hurting his lap time so much, and he can't do anything because I'm pretty sure the Red Bull is also on the lap. So that just messed up his whole lap. Sad. I don't know. Okay. So let's go on board with the sister Red Bull team of Curly on his out lap. What can he do? Starting his lap now. Pretty low ERS. He should have most likely not used that much on his out lap, but let's see. Maybe he knows something we don't. Down the gears, down to 5th gear. Nice turn 1. Low ERS though. Up the gears again. Flat to the floor with the DRS. Down to 2nd gear actually. Most drivers prefer to take that in 3rd gear, but let's see what he can do. Four tenths up on his lap time. Good improvement, but he will need to improve more if he wants to improve position. DRS open now. Down the big long straight. Up to these flat out corners if you can manage to do that. Maybe even brush the wall a little bit, how close he's trying to get. As he goes out wide, has a big slide, still not invalidated. He will try to go on, but how much will this hurt this lap? Where does he compare in sector 2? Sector 3 actually. Okay, let's see. Now onto the penultimate corner. He goes out a bit wide again, down to 2nd gear. What can he do through these last corners? Up the gears, foot flat to the floor, up the ERS, up the DRS. Where does he go? 120.1, only a 2/10 improvement. He will need more than that. As Berlanas maybe on his end lap here, because his 6 tenths down. No one pushing at the moment. As yeah, Vasa said he crashed because he spun. Yeah, sad for him, but P8 still respectable, still can come back from this circuit. From my own driving, I know that you can overtake in the circuit. I know that this is not that hard. So let's see what he can do in the race, but everyone seems to be going out for their out laps for their main laps now. Let's see if anyone is just starting their lap, and as I'm pretty sure, yep, let's go on board with the Sauber in P7 starting his lap now. Down the gears, down the turn 2, up the gears now. Let's head on board with him. Missed the apex just a tiny bit, still pretty good, looking clean at the moment. Oh, and he invalidates because he went a bit too wide. That's all the fine margins it is on this track. Walls right next to each other. If you go out just a little bit wide, you will be invalidated, and in the race you could get a penalty. So the drivers who can keep it on track will be benefiting from this track. But let's see. D-Mag on his out lap now. In P5, 8 tenths behind Meshu. As I hadn't noticed this before, but Sam in the Red Bull, only 4 tenths off Meshu in P4. Much better than Meshu's teammate at the moment, who did win the previous race by a whopping 20 seconds. So Sam proving his pace once again after he did win the round 1 sprint race and was the championship leader just for a tiny bit, a couple minutes probably, or 20 minutes, something like that. But Berlanas in P3 on his out lap, as well as Reese, the Red Bull, in last at the moment, retires from this session. So don't know what happened there. Maybe we can see. Okay. Well, D-Max teammate, Beeful, on his lap now. What can he do? He needs to score big here. McLaren are quite far behind Ferrari in the Constructor Championship. Let's just see how far behind they are really quick. As we can see, Ferrari with 87 points, McLaren with 59 points, so they need to score big there, especially when Boost and Meshu are both in the session, and they will be on their top game. They're 1-4 at the moment, so let's see what the McLarens can do. Okay. Now, Foam, only 1 tenth behind him. Meshu retires from the session, as he did get pole position. So far, provisional pole position. Both the McLarens are on their laps right now. What can they do? Who will take this pole position? Will it be Beeful? Will it be D-Mag? Or will it be Meshu, the current championship leader? Where does Beeful go? 119.8. Didn't improve. Where did D-Mag go? We couldn't quite see it in the end. Who got pole position? I don't know at the moment. We'll have to see who takes pole position for round 4 as Meshu takes pole position. not that big of a surprise. He was the predicted race winner, and Boost in the interviews did say that Meshu had really good qualifying pace. So, very good result for him here. We'll see what they have to do later. Now, Sam in the Red Bull in P2, Berlanas P3, D-Mac P4, Young Victim P5, Boost P6, Icy Cool Mantis P7, Mr. Soundy P8, Vasa P9, P10, Beeful P11, Barca Boy P12, Carly, and P13 is... Let me remember his name. Come on, come on. What's his name? I forgot. Curly, if I'm mistaken. Right? Am I mistaken? I think it's Curly. In last at the moment. So, as I just realized, Mr. Soundy did a quali lap, but he has a quali ban. So, we'll have to see what that means later. After the race, everything will be discussed. But let's see, we're gonna head underway very shortly. No formation lap this time, like in the last races, there was a formation lap. So straight to the action, we're gonna go now. Just in a couple seconds, the lights will start to light up. Let's see. As 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And the lights go out. Meshu has a very good reaction time, but the Red Bull is almost pulling alongside him. Can he go down the inside? Meshu covers it up. He's still in P1. The Red Bull goes a bit offline. D-Bag goes up into P3. Amazing start for him as we see a yellow flag in the background. Don't know what happened there. Boost down in P6 at the moment. The previous race winner fighting there down to P7. Boost struggling. As we can see, a big moment. Everyone is struggling at the moment, but Meshu just holding the lead. Let's see, as there's been an incident in P12 and P13. Let's see what has happened. Yeah, something happened. They both spun as Beeful has damage. So, not the best for him, but let's go back on board with the leaders. D-Mag, amazing start in P3 as Young Victim crawling his way back to P6 again. I think Boost had overtaken him before. Now we could see Boost in the background going down the inside and overtaking him, but he got switched back. Very good battle there in the back. Let's see if we can see that. Yep, going right in his rear, in his gearbox. Can Boost go for a move as Young Victim goes very wide. Everyone going next to the pit wall. Let's see what everyone's tires is at really quickly. As Young Victim has a big moment and drops down to P9. Very lucky that he didn't get any damage there, and he's still in the race. Everyone seems to be on the mediums, so no changes in that department. Everyone seems to be doing the same thing. Let's go back to the leaders. Nothing happening at the moment. Everyone's staying back, but everyone's still in the DRS, and the Red Bull will have DRS now. Will he be able to go for a move? Will someone else be able to go for a move? No, not at the moment. No one is going for a move. D-Mag already a second behind the Red Bull. If he wants to be in the fight for this one, he needs to come back here. And as we can see, the Red Bull going around the outside. That will be good for D-Mag, who will try to catch up now. They're gonna be fighting. D-Mag gained already back to 7/10 inside of the DRS. So Sam will not let it go. He wants to retain that championship lead from Meshu that he had just after the sprint race. He is quite far down the standings right now, but he goes around the outside with the fastest lap. Berlana takes the fast lap. Will they give each other space as the Red Bull squeezes past through into P1, leading the race? Meshu will have the DRS later though. We'll have to see if he can come back. That helped D-Mag a lot, only 5/10 behind them now. So far, this is a way more interesting race than the previous round. What will happen now? Let's see. Now, down the long straight, boost up into P5 in the background, we can see that. Now, will Meshu go for a move round the outside, down the inside? He's going around the outside. Let's go on board with the Red Bull as Meshu squeezes past through the outside as the Red Bull goes really wide. Will it make D-Mag goes through? Through goes D-Mag and through goes Berlanas. D-Mag almost going for the lead at this point. As we can see a yellow flag in the background. Someone has spun. Someone is, as we can see, the Sauber of Icy Mantis is out of contention. He has most likely has damage. Yes, as we can see, he has front wing damage. Very unfortunate for him. Now, as we can see, the V carb going wide. Good start for Curly down in P9 as D-Mag goes up into P1. Very good start for him, starting from P5 if I'm not mistaken. Very good at the moment. So, yeah, bit of mixed starts for everyone. Someone is having a good race. Someone is having a horrible race as Boost gets a 3-second time penalty that will be hurting him later on in the race. But he's almost back in DRS. He will be in the play for the win, at least on track. Berlanas also got a 3-second time penalty that will be bad for him. But can anyone go for a move? Not at the moment. So everyone who can capitalize this and not get any penalties will be on an advantage. Young Victim up into P6 as Icy Mantis gets it, as they're going side by side, the Alpine and the Ferrari. Let's go. No, yes. Okay, something happened as Boost is... Okay. I'm sorry, guys. This is not Boost. This is Sam. Going side as they... Oh, what has happened there? Big crash from the Red Bull and the Alpine. That is not what you want to see. And with a virtual safety car, Sam, from leading the race, has DNF'd. Horrible to see that. Just not the type of stuff you want to see. Curly, amazing race start for him, up into P7 from dead last. Very good for him at the moment. Sister Red Bull team. Now, D-Mag in P1. Yeah. A very end. As there's a drive-through for B-Full, D-Mag's teammate down in P9. Not what you want to see as Curly, who, just as we have been hyping him up, gets a 3-second time penalty. Very unfortunate as Meshu overtakes D-Mag for the lead of the race. We didn't quite catch that on camera, but we'll have to see. Ferrari's in an amazing result at the moment. If they can keep this, they will extend their championship lead by quite a margin. 1-3. Maybe they can even get a 1-2. Would be an amazing result. But we have to remember Boost has a penalty, so that will hurt him later in the race. Alpine in P4, Berlanas goes into the pits to change his tires very early on. Maybe even his wing if he did get any wing damage. Now, let's see what type of penalties everyone has. How much will that affect the race later on? As Foma Ben, aka Beeful, gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane while he wanted to serve his drive-through, if I'm not mistaken, his drive-through. So, yeah, just a horrible start for him. But anything can happen. Yellow flag in Sector 1 at the moment. It's been cleared very quickly. Now, will anyone go for a move? What will happen? Let's see. Penalties. 3-second time penalty for Boost. 3-second time penalty for Young Victim in P4. 3-second for Berlanas. And 3-second for Curly. Icy Maps gets another 3-second time penalty. Not the best for him as he is down in P12. So he will have to get maybe a safety car if he wants to get any points, or people DNFing ahead of him. Now, going down the main straight, Will Dima go for a move on Meshu? Round the outside. On board with Meshu now. Leaves him the space, but maybe just a bit of a squeeze, and he goes out wide, which opens the door for Boost to get up to P2. They're going side by side. What will happen here as Meshu goes down the inside, now turns to the outside, but he doesn't have enough momentum, and Boost up into P3, up into P2. Very good start for Boost, as he didn't have the best lap 1, dropping down as far as to P7 at one moment. But although, as Boost gets a big slide, what has happened there? Down, as he has wing damage here. That is race ruining. That's race ending type of mistake. You do not want to be making those at this level of competition. He has very major wing damage. He can't do anything with this wing damage. He will have to pit and hope for a safety car later on. Mr. Sounding gets a 3-second time penalty as well. So let's go to the leaders. Meshu. Will he go for the same move that D-Mag went to on him last lap? They both go next to the pit wall. D-Mag trying to cut off the slipstream, going on board with Meshu. It just won't be enough. Down into turn 1, D-Mag keeps the lead. Barca Boy up into P4 as Boost retires from this session. Sad result for him. Race winner last race by 20 seconds. Let's hope he can bounce back next race, do better. But this is benefiting McLaren in a big way, as D-Mag and P1 right now, very good for them if they can keep this result, because they are in P2 in the Constructors' Championship, about 20 to 30 points behind Ferrari. So, yep, and that means that Vasa will be going up to P11, which will maybe turn into P9, as Meshu goes down the inside, but D-Mag doesn't hesitate. He goes around the outside, doesn't break, full commitment, and keeps the lead. D-Mag seems to be controlling this race. He didn't have the best qualifying pace, but he is very, very good at the moment, as there's a yellow flag. What has happened here? Young Victim, the Aston Martin, has had a big, maybe even a collision with the Haas in P3, Barca Boy, as Berlanas goes up into P4. Curly, amazing race for him so far, in P6 on track and off track. So very good for him, as he peels into the pits, the Aston Martin of Young Victim, who got P2 last race for McLaren. As Meshu tries to go around the outside, D-Mag squeezes him just a little bit, a bit of contact. Meshu loses the momentum, and D-Mag keeps the place again. D-Mag seems to be playing with these drivers like it's nothing. He's just dominating at the moment, but we'll have to see what can he do in the tire strategy, what will happen. Curly up into P5. Just amazing race for him at the moment, starting all the way dead last. Let's see. Yep. Just driving calmly. He's taking advantage of other people's mistakes, letting other people fight, and it's working for so far. In P5, very good for him at the moment. Now, let's see, will Meshu go for a move into turn 1 on the main straight, as he goes out a bit wide? That may lose his chances of going for a move unless he drains his ERS. They shouldn't be fighting at the moment that much. They should probably just focus on saving their tires and thinking about the tire strategy, but it's entertaining for us, so keep it up, keep the fighting. So Meshu wasn't enough to overtake D-Mag there, but he will have the DRS again. He's staying back for the moment, I'm pretty sure, so he will most likely just try to go for a move around the outside, down the inside of the big long straight, because he will have a big advantage on straight line speed, as Young Victim gets a 3-second time penalty. He is trying to overtake Mr. Sowney. Yeah, round the outside, he gets squeezed a little bit, but he gets past Mr. Sowney. Good overtake there. Now let's see, will Meshu go for a move? No, he's staying back, doing the smart thing. Icy Cool Mantis in P11 gets another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He surely needs someone to DNF again for him to get any points out of this race at all. But a lot of the people that are regarded as the faster drivers are struggling here, except D-Mag and Meshu, of course. So Boost DNF'd, Sam DNF'd, you know, as D-Mag pulls into the pits for an early stop, undercut. We'll see how that works out for him later on. His teammate all the way down in P9 with a 13-second time penalty. Of course, keep in mind any of these penalties could get removed if they report it with enough proof to remove them. Barca Boy up into P2. Of course, it's only on track. D-Mag will be in the how can we say net P2, maybe even net P1 if he has a very good outlap. Let's see on board, is he struggling on those hards? Yeah, are the hards? Let me check. Okay, D-Mag. He is on the hard compound of tires. All of his ERS still in his car. Hasn't used it. Let's see, can he do a good outlap? Let's put the gap to the leader and see how much is the gap to the leader for him. Only 16 seconds. I'm pretty sure that if Meshu would pit right now, D-Mag would come out in come out in P1 by maybe even a couple seconds, as Reese Red Bull gets a 3-second time penalty as we see a yellow flag in the back. What has happened there? The V-carb of Curly, who has had a very good race so far, is stopped on track. What has happened there? Horror for him at the moment. B-full up into P7. Yeah, both the V-carbs not having the best race. Meshu clops into the pits as D-Mag comes out ahead of him, but just by how much? Let's see this. Meshu gets a 3-second time penalty that is crucial in this fight for the win. Let's see, he is 2 seconds behind D-Mag. D-Mag going for a very good undercut, and it has worked out for him. Good play by D-Mag. D-Mag is in prime contention to win this race. He's only 1.5 seconds behind the people P1 and 2, and those people haven't even stopped yet. Maybe they will hold him up a little bit, but we'll have to see about that later. Now let's see with the Williams, as D-Mag's teammate in P10 has boxed to serve his penalty, and hope he can do a good second stint. As a V-carb of Curly also boxed. Had a very good race start up into P5 at one point, but had a big moment. Now, bit of a race crusher here, but we'll have to see what he can do in the second stint compared to the other drivers. As, oh my god, B-Full gets another 10-second time penalty. His previous one that he served was because he sped in the pit lane. As we talk about that, Barca Boy gets a 10-second for speeding in the pit lane. But he got another 10-second for crossing the white line on the pit exit. That could be removed if he reports it so. Or at least reduced, because 10 seconds for that is not the best. But we'll have to see about that later and what the stewards think about that. Mr. Soundy gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Now, D-Mag in the lead by almost 2 seconds, with Meshu behind him in a 3-second time penalty. This could be D-Mag's second ever win in this league, and he, if this is how the race finishes, will be the Drivers' Championship leader for the first time ever. So, very exciting Grand Prix so far. Seems to have calmed down a bit at the moment. No one's quite in DRS of each other except the Sauber P11, so let's go on board with him. Behind D-Mag's teammate B-Full in P10. Up the gears, will he go for a move? Down into turn 3, he goes down the inside, bit of contact, he loses all the momentum, so B-Full keeps the position at the moment. As there's a crash, I'm pretty sure, for Vasa ahead. What has happened there? Vasa dropping down. Horrible for both of the V-Carbs this race. Struggling massively. Of course, they are P3 in the Constructors' Championship, so this will be a big hit for them. Maybe even falling behind Red Bull, since they do have a driver in the top 6, now turns to the top 7. So, on board with the race leader, Meshu is rapidly catching him in the DRS now, almost in the DRS. But keep in mind, he does have a 3-second time penalty. All D-Mag needs to do is just keep it calm, keep these tires in the right window, don't go off track, don't fight Meshu that much, just stay in his DRS if he does overtake you. And you're gonna win this race and be the championship leader. So, no one expected a D-Mag win, but this so far has been an amazing race. Let's go and see what is happening here as Meshu has the fastest lap. He's pushing. He wants to overtake D-Mag. He wants to try to pull a 3-second gap from what I'm seeing. He's pushing. As we can see, a yellow flag in Sector 1. And now starting Sector 2, Berlana sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:19.0. Let's see what is happening with the race leaders. Meshu gets another 3-second time penalty. That is race ruining. If D-Mag doesn't get any penalties at all, Meshu, your race is over. You're not gonna win this race. So it's looking like it's D-Mag's day. What will happen here? Meshu going, gaining, staying back a little bit. Will he try to overtake here? He does have the DRS. He does have the ERS. Will he use it? Will he try to overtake? Going down the inside, side by side. No contact at all, and D-Mag had more momentum around the outside and kept the position. D-Mag holding his composure very well so far this race. Curly up into P8 as Vasa and Foam Ben or Beeful are fighting. So let's see, will Meshu go for another move? I don't think he has enough momentum. He stays back. He needs a good exit here. He doesn't get it. So Vasa dropping down to P11. Horrible time for both of the V-Carbs. At least Curly is in the points at P8. So that's at least something. 4 points for him. That will be 2 P8s in a row if he finished there. Now Meshu, will he go for a move? Will he? He does have the ERS. He does have the DRS. All he needs to do is use it. As he's gaining on D-Mag. Up the gears, up into 8th gear. Can he go for a move? Round the outside, down the inside actually. D-Mag says no. I want the inside for the next corner. And they go side by side. D-Mag squeezes Meshu just a little bit. But I don't think that will come into play. That won't come to the stewards, I don't think, as they go side by side. Meshu hits the curb as D-Mag goes for a switchback. This is an amazing battle at the moment, side by side for a very long time. Now on the final corner, still going side by side. What will happen here? We'll have to see. Let's go get on board with D-Mag. He does not have the DRS, so Meshu does take the lead. But that was an amazing battle. Props to them for keeping it so clean. D-Mag is still the race leader if we take account penalties. So I have to see. Maybe Meshu has some very good pace that we haven't seen yet, and he can get a 6-second gap, but we'll have to see about that. D-Mag will have the DRS here. Vasa gets a 3-second time penalty, his first time penalty. Now, the only driver who doesn't have a time penalty here is D-Mag. Very good result from him so far. Barca Boy gets a 3-second time penalty down in P5. Now, what happens here? Will D-Mag go for a move? I think he's just staying back at the moment, playing it chill. He doesn't want to risk anything, doesn't want to get any penalties, because he is on course to win this if he just stays in the DRS of Meshu, or at least doesn't let him pull a 6-second gap, which would be a very hard task to do for Meshu. We'll have to see. But let's head on board with Vasa in P11. He is also in the DRS of the driver ahead of him. Now he has like about 0 ERS, so maybe he can go for a move, but I doubt it. And the driver ahead does have more ERS, so nothing interesting happening here at the moment. Now Curly, behind him is Beefle that we're on board with right now. He does have a 16-second time penalty, so this won't matter too much. Curly would still finish P8, which would be 2 P8s in a row, but let's see, will this be a battle? Meshu is pulling a big gap out in front. 7-10 gap at the moment. Let's go on board with them. On board with D-Mag now, 8 tenths behind Meshu. I think he's just trying to stay back. You know, as you can see, there's gonna be some lap traffic ahead. Maybe that will mesh with Meshu. Ghosting is on at the moment, so they won't interfere with them. But maybe that'll mess with Meshu's just a little bit of his concentration as he goes out a bit wide as well. So yeah, maybe he lost a bit of concentration since there's drivers ahead of him that are battling, and they are ghosting, of course, but we'll have to see now. D-Mac is staying back at the moment. As we can see, a big crash ahead. What has happened there? Oh my god, Curly. That is race ending for Curly. Very sad to see that. Let's see what happened there. Oh my god, very sad. Yeah, and that's just race over for Curly. Yeah. Sad to see that. He was in P5 at one point. He needs someone to DNF or something at this point. Or he needs to gain 5 seconds to be full ahead of him, so he would finish in P10. Yeah, big crash, big drama this race so far. As D-Mag, even more drama, drops out of the DRS. Not good for D-Mag. You better go on. You better go pushing, because this could mean that Meshu has just found that sweet spot in the temperature of his tires, found that sweet spot where he can push every single turn, and he's gaining on D-Mag. So let's see what's happening up at the front. Meshu, 75% US, using it, doesn't want D-Mag to get back into the DRS. D-Mag, P2, 1.4 seconds behind him, has 90% ERS. He needs to push. He can't let Meshu get away like this. Even if he doesn't get any penalties, he needs to keep his pace up if he can't get into the DRS. He can't lose. Like, if he loses just a half a second a lap, it's gonna be race over for him by the end of the race, unless Meshu gets another penalty, or Meshu gets a post-race penalty for an incident or something, you know. So as we can see, sector 1, B-Carb, if I'm not mistaken, either Vasa or Curly. I think it's Curly who has had a big moment again. Yeah, very sad for him. Having a good race, but that's how it is. If you are making mistakes, if you're not performing, that's what happens. So you have to come back stronger next race. He gets another 3-second time penalty. So D-Mag also, he needs to perform. He can't let Meshu play around with him. D-Mag was leading this race easily, and he was just bullying everyone on track. But now Meshu seems to have unlocked some inner pace, and D-Mag is just struggling a lot. You can't see it as Vasa retires, which is just a horrible day for V-Carb. Yeah, at least Curly can get a point now. 1 point. Still adds something. They are, of course, P3 in the Constructor Championship currently. But yeah, race seems to have calmed down a bit at the moment. D-Mag going past the lapped car there. Red Bull in P7 of Reese. Yeah, D-Mag needs to catch back up quickly. or at least not lose a lot of time. As Meshu made a big mistake, goes off wide, and D-Mag goes up into P1. What has happened there for Meshu? We'll have to see it after the race, maybe, if we can get a clip. But that is horrible for Meshu. I think that just secured D-Mag the win, as we can see a yellow flag in Sector 2. What has happened there for Curly as he spun again? What is happening for him? He was having a very good race, but now he's just struggling. He will still get a point if he doesn't DNF, but yeah, just that's not helping him. Yeah, he has damage as well, so yeah, not the best race for him. As Icy Cool Mantis in the Kickstarter goes up into P7 ahead of the Red Bull in P8 now. He does have a 12-second penalty, keep in mind that. So that will be a benefit to the Red Bull in the race, as the Red Bull now gets a penalty, so that will be a benefit to Icy Cool Mantis later in the race. So let's go back on board with the leaders. Yeah, Meshu in P2. Will he go for a move into this next turn? He has the DRS. He goes down the inside, side by side, no contact whatsoever. And D-Mag, for the second time this race, I've seen him on that corner, just go around the outside, keep the lead. Outside seems to be the plan there, if he does remember that for the final lap, if Meshu is still here. On the final lap, right next to him, Icy Cold Mantis gets a 3-second penalty, as we can see Meshu going down the inside. D-Mag, does he have enough speed to go around the outside? No. Meshu takes the lead of VDRL round 4 at the moment, but he does have 6-second time penalty. So yeah, Meshu just after that spin seems to be struggling a little bit. If he didn't spin, he could have won this race, but at this moment, at this point in time, it doesn't look like he has the chance to win it. Let's see D-Mag, will he go for a move to retake his lead and take the championship lead at the end of the race for the first time in VDRL history, and his second race win, only grabbing one podium in his career, if I'm not mistaken, except this season, which we have introduced at tier 2. So he's grabbing wins left and right. It could be his second win of the season, and yeah, doing really good this season so far. Let's see what he can do. Can he overtake Meshu going into turn 1? He doesn't have enough speed. He's gonna stay back. He looks like he got a pretty good exit. Can he use his ERS? Can he try to overtake Meshu? Or will he stay back and go on the big long straight? No, he goes down the inside, side by side with Meshu. Meshu leaves him just enough space. He leaves just enough space. Now still side by side, and he goes round the outside to take the lead. Retake the lead. Very good battling from these two the whole race so far, as we have seen. So props to them, props to them. We have seen a lot of other drivers struggle to go side by side and have hit each other's spun from the start of the race all the way up to just a couple laps ago, with Curly, who has not even been fighting with anyone but just making a lot of mistakes. So struggling a bit, the V-Carb. Still in P10. Lucky there's not a lot of people attending this race. So this is the only battle on track at the moment, and it's the most interesting battle on track at the moment. So let's see. Everyone except these two seem to be in a very big gap from each other. Now, while nothing is happening, let's maybe calculate a bit of where everyone could finish with the penalties in hand. So, It looks like Berlanas has his P6 guaranteed. Young Victim his P4 guaranteed. Then Barca Boy his P5 guaranteed. Mr. Sawney looks like he has his P6 guaranteed. And Icy Cole looks like he may be overtaken as Meshu gets down the inside, side by side still, as Meshu goes very wide. Aggressive battling by these two. This is some 2021 Lewis versus Max type fights. We'll have to see. Will they be fighting again next lap? Because this is a very interesting battle. As D-Mag seems to be getting Meshu out of his DRS. D-Mag, can he clinch the win here? Because it seems that he is just dominating. Not as much as Boost was last race, but it doesn't matter if you win by 20 seconds or by 1,000. You still get 25 points, 26 points if you get the fastest lap. Let's see who has the fastest lap at the moment. They will be getting an extra point. And also, Meshu, he will be getting also an extra point for pole position, since that is a thing. Let's see. Where can we see the fastest laps? Okay. Yeah. We'll have to see about that later, because we do see this on-track battle. Will Meshu try to overtake D-Mag? Doesn't look like he has enough momentum to go for a move here. He stays back, smart decision. Okay, so the fastest lap is held by Berlanas in P3, 1:19.0. Very good lap by him. He will be taking the one extra point as of the moment. As Meshu goes down the inside, but he backs off last second. Nothing happened there so far. With the DRS Meshu at the moment. Gap to leader for Curly. 1 minute 18 seconds. I think that's a bit glitched. I'm pretty sure he's lapped, because he is 1 minute behind default. But hey, let's look on the bright side. He was P5 at one part of the race. Now, let's see. D-Mag and Meshu. Where will Meshu go? He will go down the inside. Will D-Mag leave him enough space? Yes, he does. But D-Mag goes around the outside. But Curly gets its 3-second time penalty. Let's not focus on that at the moment. Meshu has a better exit. He's down the inside. They will be going side by side. As D-Mag goes for a switchback. Now, side by side again. And D-Mag seems to just squeeze ahead of Meshu. Very good battling by these two amazing drivers. But at the moment, it does seem that D-Mag has the win guaranteed. As Curly DNFs. Very sad. What has happened there? I don't think we can even see. Yeah, just sad. He could have gotten 1 point, but didn't. Yeah, that's just how it goes. But we have to see. Yeah, just V-Carbs having both horrible races. Both DNF'd, so Ferrari not having the best race either. D-Mag will most likely win this. That will mean that the McLarens will gain about 10 points on Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship. An ultimate lap now. All D-Mag needs to do, he just needs to not do anything, really. Just stay back. He has a big slide. You can't be having those. Just keep it calm. You don't need to push at all, D-Mag. Maybe you want to win on track. That will give us some more entertainment. So go for it, D-Mag. Win on track. Now we're going to be heading on to the final corner of the penultimate lap. Now, starting the final lap. This will be the last time We're gonna be heading down into turn 1 with the leaders. Down the gears, D-Mag goes, turns in 4th gear, has a good exit. Not using his ERS, he will save it for the big long straight to try and overtake Meshu there. Going down the gears now, down to 2nd, gaining on Meshu non-stop. Has a bit of a moment there and loses about 3/10 to Meshu. But the DRS is so strong here. If you have that much ERS, even if you're 8/10 behind, you could catch up and overtake the driver ahead. Now, D-Mag, will he use his ERS? Will he try? Will he even have the chance to overtake Meshu on this final lap of the race? He's staying back at the moment, not using his ERS as much as we thought he would. But maybe he's just saving it for later, for the final straight. Now, D-Mag, 3/10 behind Meshu, using his ERS just a little bit. Will he go down the inside? Doesn't have enough speed. Now, he needs some good exits on this if he wants to win on track. But as we're looking, he thinks that he doesn't want to win on track. He just wants to stay back. Maybe he will win on track. Let's see how much ERS Meshu has. Only 38. Can D-Mag overtake him? Yes, as Meshu lets him pass. D-Mag wins the Australian Grand Prix for round 4 of VDRL by a whopping 6 seconds after penalties, and he will be the championship leader for the first time in his career of VDRL. Amazing race by D-Mag and amazing result by McLaren. Both of them scoring points. D-Mag, of course, winning the race. Very good for them against Ferrari in the championship. And D-Mag now leading the Drivers' Championship unless any penalties get applied after the race. Congrats to D-Mag. Meshu in P2. Good race by him. Good try. Just not enough. Verlanas in P3 with the fastest lap. That will be 19 points for him. No, my bad. 16 points for him. Good result by him. Young Victim, the previous P2 finisher, used to be D-Mag's teammate because he was reserving for McLaren, but now in Aston Martin, finishing P4. Barca Boy in the Haas, P5. Good result for Haas, since they are pretty quite down in the Constructors' Championship. In the Williams man in P6, Mr. Sawney, who didn't serve his quali ban. We'll have to see what the stewards think about that after the race. But the Sauber in P7 and a couple of drivers that I will name after the podium celebrations, and then we'll head on to the post-race interviews and we'll wrap this weekend up. Driver of the day by the game is Barca Boy. We'll have to see what the people vote after the race. As D-Mag celebrating, spinning, and wins the race. Now for the champagne celebrations, the Irishman lifting the trophy. Maybe not even lifting it. He looks a bit too comfortable up there. Now for the champagne celebrations. We don't see any champagne, sadly. But let's just list the finishing results. P1 Meshu, P1, my bad, D-Mag. P2 Meshu, P3 Berlanas, P4 Young Victim, P5 Barca Boy, P6 Mr. Sawney, P7 Icy Cool Mantis, P8 the Red Bull Man, Reese, P9 Beeful, and everyone below them DNF'd. Now let's just check the let's just check this really quick. So if people want to report any incidents after the race. Oh, I need to do this quicker. Okay. Now, we're gonna head on to the post-race views. One second before everyone joins. And I would like to ask everyone to mute themselves until they are asked to unmute. So, the race winner, DMAG, his second win, and he will be the championship leader after this race. DMAG, do you hear me?
Hello.
How was the race from your point of view? What were the lows? What were the highs? Just what happened the whole race? Take us through it.
Yeah, the high was really definitely just the start and all the battles with Messi. We kept it clean, maybe a bit of Arjun like touching, but yeah, we just kept it clean. We did it through the entire race, and yeah, somehow managed to win.
Now, we saw you weren't that confident before the race. Were you surprised about your pace during the race and the pace of the drivers around you?
Yeah, I was really surprised with my pace during the race. You know, from a bad quality, like starting fourth. I mean, not bad, but not where I was hoping. But it worked, and yeah. The pace of the other drivers was really good, but a lot of people made mistakes, and I just took advantage of them mistakes, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, very good result for you. You're gonna be leading the drivers' championship for the first time, your second victory, and yeah, just overall, congrats on the win. Uh, Good result for McLaren as well, gaining about 10 points from Ferrari, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a bit more. So, congrats, and we're gonna head on to Meshu in P2 now.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, hello, Meshu. A lot of good battles with DMAG. We saw you going side by side for two sectors. I mean, what was happening that race? Take us through it. Take us what happened. Tell us your point of view.
So first of all, congrats to DMAG, of course. So on the start, I took the wrong setup, which I didn't even realize. Which got a bit tricky. So on the start, I was trying to keep Sam behind, which went well, but something happened there, but I don't know what happened. So randomly DMAG was behind me. I was just trying to keep him behind, but after the pits, I went out and got a lot of penalties because I was really struggling on the hards, had no downforce at all, just really tricky, and was just trying to get these 6 seconds away from DMAC, but he really drove really good, and yeah.
Yeah, we saw you make that mistake after the big long straight on the fast corners. You went off to the gravel, which lost all of your progress, which ultimately lost you the win and, of course, your time penalties. So, uh, how do you think? Are you happy with that result? And will you bounce back good? Let's hope you bounce back good.
Yeah, I think good results. Didn't expect like a win, just podium because I don't like Australia at all. So yeah, really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congrats on the win. Not on the win. Sorry. Congrats on P2. And we're gonna head on to the P3 finisher, the Alpine driver Berlanas.
Thank you.
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very great race from you. You did take the fastest lap, so that will be an extra point. How do you think was the race, and anything that you could have done better?
Yes, I'm very happy with the progress. I'm P3 on the podium, and if I lost I have a drive through by 10, 10 less, and yes, 0.010. And if I don't have that penalty, maybe I fight to with Mesu and Damag.
Yeah, I mean, just a bit of penalties. Everyone was struggling with penalties except DMAG, who got zero penalties. Well, you were best of the rest, except the two front runners, and congrats on the 16 points, and hope to see you next race back at the top.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Now, heading on to young victim in P4. Do you hear me?
Bonjour.
Okay, so finishing P2 last race for McLaren, now for Aston Martin. What was the race from your perspective? How do you think
It
it
was very
went?
boring until I got overtaken. No, just the start was bad. I got pushed off by boost at some point, and that's about it. I did most of the race with damage.
Yeah, we saw you battling quite a lot in the start with boost, and of course, track limit penalties also affected you, as a lot of the drivers got affected by them. But what do you think this result means? Do you think you can bounce back better next race? And just in general, how do you feel?
Uh, just dodgy driving, I think. Hopefully, we're not. Hopefully, I'm not that sore next week. That was embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, congrats in P4. Congrats on the finish. Congrats on the points haul. And good luck for the next race. Now, heading on to Barca Boy in P5. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so take us through your race. How do you feel, if you could have done anything better? And starting P11, very good result from you, gaining 6 positions. What do you think? How do you feel?
Well, I qualifying, they just felt like really off the pace because from whenever I was practicing before the race, I was like over a second slower than I usually was. So I wasn't expecting that good a race. And then going in the start, there was just a pile of chaos in the back. So I was able to just slip through and took advantage of it. And I was cruising along just behind Bellanius, I think how you say it. And then I went into the pits behind him, and I thought I was below the speed, but I got a 10-second penalty. And then after that, it just went downhill. After that, I was reckless with my driving, and I got 9 second worth of penalties when I had zero. So it went from 0 to 19 in the second half of the race. So I think if I didn't get any penalties, I if I didn't get any penalties, I'm pretty sure I would be up in podium. So it was just recklessness from me.
Yeah, a lot of people got affected by track limits, by a lot of different type of penalties. The McLaren of Beeful actually got a penalty for uh, crossing the pit lane exit line, which we'll have to see about that after the race. But yeah, congrats on the finish, and only can go up from here. Finish, uh, mastering the track limits, and let's hope you can do better next race.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for the interview. Now let's head on to Mr. Sawney. If he's here, I'm pretty sure he's not. So, is Icy Cool Mantis here? No. Now, so I think the next person that we're gonna interview is Beeful, the McLaren driver, D-Max teammate. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Well, very good result for McLaren. 1 and 9. So gaining some points to Ferrari and the constructors will help you a lot. But we have seen you get involved in quite some incidents. Can you comment on that and comment on the whole race?
I just think I wasn't actually as careful as I normally would have been. Just going back, my times were like really horrendous, I'd say. But it was just near the end of the race, I just started slipping. The tire wear was absolutely high, and I think I should probably just be more careful going on to the next race on that.
Yeah, I mean, you can only go up from here. Everyone was struggling, of course. What do you think about the penalty you got about crossing the pit exit line?
I think it was diabolical start, but it was, I'd say, after just looking back, I'd say it was probably fair. Like I've screamed down my mic for a minute on it, but yeah, I should probably be more careful on just exiting the pit lane and then turn it.
Yeah, well, unfortunate race, but it is still some points for McLaren, and congrats on that, and we'll hopefully see you on the next round. Now, heading on to the final person that we're gonna interview. Well, the before final person. Curly, DNF'd in P10. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. How was the race from your point of view? I mean, we saw you make quite a bit mistakes during the end. So can you comment on that?
So I had an absolute blasting start. You saw me on the VSC P7. Then I got my first penalty. It was going up, and P5, 2 laps until the pit window, and it only gone downhill from there. I mean, I had a incident with a young victim where I have a feeling where I just couldn't do anything about it. Went to pits, got a repair, and then I got back onto P8 or something. Then Ben came, slapped into him, gone into P11, and from that point, every lap became sadder and sadder. That motivation I had just turned into sadness even more and more. And when I just got DNF'd, I was like, thank God it's over. Like, it can only go up from here, but I just couldn't wait until the end of the race. It was an absolute horrible performance by me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just not your race, but hopefully you can bounce back stronger. Just the whole VCARB team struggling this race, and yeah, I mean, just try to get your motivation up, and hope to see you doing better at the next race, which will be at Portugal.
Portugal.
Yep. So, do you think you will do good in Portugal?
Portugal, it's a race where can happen everything. Everything can happen. There can be a full clean race or a race with minimally 5 safety cars. And
Yeah.
you just don't know what can happen there, so let's just see what the future brings us and just wait to it.
Yeah. Well, only up from here, and let's hope you can bounce back from this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heading on
Thank you.
to Vasa now, the other VCARB who DNF'd as well in P11. Take us through your race, what happened, and yeah.
No pace and just not my day.
That's it.
Fuck a lot of mistakes and yeah.
Can you maybe comment on some incidents I'm pretty sure you had?
I didn't have any incident only by myself by spinning out.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Also you did DNF in qualifying, so yeah, just not your day, not your track, not VCarb's day, but yeah, let's hope you can bounce back. And
Thanks.
yeah, just good luck for the next race in Portugal, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks.
Yes. Okay. And now that is it for the interviews. We're going to be wrapping this weekend up. And thanks everyone for watching. And this is VDRL.